Hey, we're back with Pour Your Poison. I'm Clint, and I'm going to teach you how to make coffee liqueur. Super easy, super simple. It does take some time to age, actually pick up a lot of the coffee flavor. The things you're going to need to make this. You're going to start with a bottle of vodka. We choose Rayhorst all the time. Fantastic. You're going to need coffee. The grain of coffee that you use is really going to make an impact on how this coffee liqueur turns out. We're picking a fine grain, finely ground, local coffee. The larger the grain of coffee that you use, it's going to take longer to actually pick up the coffee flavor. If you want to use espresso beans, feel free. You're going to get a lot stronger of a coffee flavor. We're going right in the middle of the road, not too dark, not too light, but we are going a little heavy. So we're going to get a lot of coffee taste. You need vanilla extract, pure vanilla extract, none of that fake stuff. You're going to need water, sugar, and a pan. So we're going to fire this up, high heat. We are going to add 8 cups of water. We have 5 cups of sugar. You can use a little more or a little less depending on how sweet or how dry you really want this liqueur to be. After this dissolves, we're going to kill the heat. We're going to add all the other ingredients, and then basically we're just going to bottle it. You want to keep this cool and in a dark spot for at least a month until you get a lot of the flavors that come through. The sugars will actually sweeten the coffee. Alright, now that the sugar is all dissolved and this has come to a simmer, we're going to kill the heat. Let the solution cool to a room temperature, and we're going to come back and we're going to show you what to do with the rest of it. We'll be right back. Now, we're going to let this sit in a jug, so we're actually going to add the solution to a sealable container. So we are going to carefully pour this solution into the container. Again, it's important that you let this cool to room temperature because you don't want to throw the coffee and the vanilla and the vodka in it because it heats it up. You lose a lot of the flavor. You'll pull a lot of the flavor from the coffee, but it'll kill the vanilla. So we're going to add 1 bottle of vodka. I recommend Rayhorst. I always do. You can use less, you can use a little more. We're going with a little more than standard recipe. So we're going to add a full bottle of vodka. We are going to add 6 tablespoons of pure vanilla extract. Make sure it's pure, you don't want the artificial stuff. This is where you're going to get a lot of the flavor from. Okay. And then we have a 1.5 cups of finely ground local coffee. Again, you can use more if you like a little more coffee flavor. You can use less, you can use espresso, you can even use decaf. I mean, don't understand the point, but we're going to use a 1.5 cups of fine ground coffee. Now we're going to stir this around. We're just going to wait for the coffee to kind of soak up all the moisture. Everything's even in this container. Once all the coffee is saturated, we're going to cover this. We're going to throw it in the refrigerator. We're going to let this sit for about a month. We're going to continue to taste it over the next few weeks. Just by taste alone, you'll be able to tell when it's kind of ready. But I'd recommend anywhere from 25 to 35 days in the refrigerator until you strain it. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a spatula. And I'm just going to go around and make sure all the coffee beans are in the liquid, just so we're getting all the flavor that we're looking for. Now we're going to throw the lid on this baby. Make sure you date it just so you know what you're doing, know how long it's been in the refrigerator. So we're going to let this sit, and again we're going to taste it over the next couple weeks. We're going to pull it and strain it when it's ready to go, and then we're going to play around with some cocktails, show you how to play with your own coffee liqueur. So again, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, we want to see your pictures, we want to see your ideas, we want to hear about what you are doing in your kitchen, behind the bar. Either way, check us out on Facebook, check us out on our webpage, Pour Your Poison, pouryourpoison.com. I'm Clint Sturwald, we'll talk to you soon.